welcome to another episode of the playonultra podcast. This is episode 41.
Yeah.
And today with me, we have Foehamner, the YouTube rock star.
Haha.
What?
That's my guitar riff sound effect.
So Nathan is stuck somewhere in the wilderness
of Camelot.
And Jordan.
No, what do you say? It's some other British town. Was it actually Camelot? Camelot's not a real place. It was Nottingham, I
don't think so. Yeah, Nottingham. And Jordan's stuck with his parents. So I'm not sure which one
has it worse.
has the worst of it.
Yeah.
So mean. Such an asshole. You did things this week.
Today was much more eventful than last week. Last week was more series-based. This week was a lot more back to my...
I actually wanted to talk about a game that you recently played. I saw you upload a video of it and I was excited to watch it.
Oh, which one?
It's called Accepted.
Ah, yes.
Is it Accepted or Acceptance? Acceptance.
I think there was a game jam recently about like LGBT values or something, because there's been 3 or 4 of these out in the last couple weeks. These same plots.
The reason why I'm excited for that is because the person who developed it, aka the person who wrote it, is Laura K. Buzz. She's the transgender game critic.
Oh.
She's pretty well known now. She is part of my favorite podcasts of all time, Podquisition, with Jim Sterling.
Oh, her. Okay, I know her voice. So, I've only heard Jimquisition when you link it to me, so I didn't know her name.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she did it in Twine.
Wait, so she's a born female transitioning into male who identifies as male?
The other way around.
So she was born male, identifies as female.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
She also engaged to a female, I believe. Yeah. And pretty big news, she is gonna get reconstructive surgery and stuff.
Oh, nice. I shared
transitional surgery.
I shared an office with somebody who went through that. Turned out fine.
Yeah, I think the recovery is gonna be a bit.
It's not. It's not the easiest of surgeries.
It's not like a small thing.
Yeah, it's pretty massive overhaul.
Yeah, so she's based in the UK. So she said the national healthcare, the NHS, is pretty shitty for transgender people, because you have to live as a transgender. So you have to live. Let's say if you're a male and you think you're female, you have to live as a female.
Yeah. Change
your name and all that for 2 years. And then get psychiatric evaluation.
I think it's one over here.
Before getting surgery. So but for her, she's already been living the life for many years.
Okay.
And the NHS said, basically, oh, we're sorry, the 2 years is going to start today, actually.
What?
So she doesn't want to wait anymore. So she has a GoFundMe page.
Officially start? Oh, gosh. Oh, I see. So if you have the money, you can just do it whenever?
Yeah, she has to go private.
I see.
And the NHS's main guy that does all these transitional surgeries just went private recently. Probably because NHS sucks, maybe, I don't know.
Could be.
When it comes to transgendered stuff.
Doesn't sound like it, yeah.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to play Acceptance, still haven't gotten
it. I mean, it just came out. It's short. I mean, so it's got basically there's essentially one story. In the beginning you choose whether or not, which one you are, if you're biologically a man, biologically female, identifying as the opposite. But the story is identical either way, just small details change.
What do you think of it? Because you said you couldn't give an opinion during the video. You needed time to think about it, right?
Well, I mean, as the writing was fine. The problem is I'm not the person really that the game is designed for, because I'm already kind of on that side. I don't need convincing of anything, so it's kind of just so. Usually, what happens when a piece of art is trying to be here's how you should see the world, and I'm I already see it that way. What usually happens is the piece of art then comes off to me as being a little too artsy, like almost pretentious. This did not come off as pretentious, but it's hard. Most things are ruined or damaged when you know what's going to happen ahead of time, essentially.
Right.
So, I mean,
but do you think the game can convince people of like?
Well, at least open their eyes a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it could. I think there's definitely several like just powerful scenes in there that they put you in a position that people possibly might not have thought about, so you can empathize with somebody in that position a little more. It's hard to get too invested in a game that is. It's hard to get invested in a game that is so short. It's not enough build up, as it were.
Maybe because I'm just a cynical bastard, so I don't think that.
Yeah.
That people who are kind of assholes towards transgender will change.
I agree. Well, 2 weeks ago, I played a different transgender game. I think this is a spoiler, because I didn't know it was a transgender game going into it. The game was called A Normal Lost Phone. And the idea is you find a phone, and you figure out whose phone it was, where they are, and that kind of thing. And so, spoiler alert, it turns out that it's a transgendered girl's phone, and she lives in somewhere in Eastern Europe. I don't remember which country it is.
Ooh, a normal lost phone on Google, and your video is the only video on the first page.
Well, I mean, so that's last week on the podcast, I mentioned that this current week, I was going to try and focus more on visual or virtual novel games, because nobody does those because there's no gameplay to them. But as somebody who's interested in doing audiobooks, it's a great melding between my two interests of Let's Plays and audiobooks. So I can do these
Nobody
games.
does those? Seriously?
Well,
I can't see a lot of like...
Nobody, I can't, yeah, you're right. I can't say nobody does them. Like, I just started, this week I just started doing The Bottom of the Well, which is a free game on Steam virtual novel, and it has a buttload of Let's Plays. So
there's a new free-to-play visual novel called Cupid.
Oh,
I have it installed. I still haven't tried it.
I should look into it. I guess the point is, the kind of people who crawl through the IndieDB things, pulling up demos like me, most of those Let's Players are the reaction type Let's Players who are looking for the new demo with some crazy mechanic like the Barber Simulator or Cluster Truck, where they can scream and yell at, not the kinds of people who typically do visual novels.
Right.
So yeah, that video was very successful, and I guess because I'm the only one who did a video for it.
Nice.
Acceptance is not doing nearly as well. I don't know why. Perhaps everybody who had watched it is at GDC this past week.
Oh, the first episode of The Preacher just went up.
What are you talking about?
The comic book Preacher, the first episode of the TV series.
What? I didn't know that was what? How did I?
You didn't know it was a thing?
I mean, so it's one of those things that's always been talked about. I had actually the news that it was actually finally for once being made hadn't crossed my radar, let alone the fact that it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so here
the guy who playing, what's his name? Jeez, I'm trying
to. The main preacher guy.
Dominic Cooper.
Oh, is playing the preacher. I can't remember any of the characters' names. I remember the Saint of Killers. There's the preacher. There's the vampire. There's the girlfriend. It's all the main ones.
Dominic Cooper is the. Isn't he the one in Judge Dredd? Wasn't he Judge Dredd?
No. That.
He wasn't Judge Dredd.
No, that was.
Oh yeah, he was Dracula until Vampire Hunter. Yeah.
Carl Urban was Dredd.
Oh, Carl Urban was Dredd. Yeah.
Preacher, Dominic Cooper. Dang it, you're right. Jeez. Oh, what do I know Dominic Cooper from? Dominic Cooper, isn't he in Jesse Custer? That's the name of the character I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I watched him in Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Hunter.
I haven't seen that.
It was okay. Not super crazy or anything, but it was okay.
Well, my inbox of things to watch as of today, as of this recording, has exploded because, well, now we have Preacher, but what also came out today is season 2 of Daredevil and Pee Wee Herman movie on Netflix.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
so
stoked.
The Preacher is by AMC. It's produced by AMC.
I'm very curious to see how balls to the wall they go because
Because they do some pretty good shit, I
It
guess.
should be like, so if they were going to make a bit of media that was completely true to the comic books, I'm actually not sure how you get an X rating, but it should probably get one of those. Because there's literally like a scene in the comic books where there's a guy who has like a warehouse full of like meat. He's like a butcher or something like that. And he's sculpted a giant woman out of meat and he's having sex with it.
Oh.
Like, it's just, there's some really, really screwed up imagery in Preacher. Like, it's too much for me almost.
I
Like,
remember the one that
but the message is good.
He asked the ass face's father to fuck himself, right?
Right, when he has the word of God and people have to do what he says, and he doesn't really realize it yet.
Which is a fucking awesome power.
It's just like
Seth
Jessica
Rogen is one of
Jones.
the executive producers.
Oh, interesting. I guess he's a big comic guy. Look at IMDb. Who'd they get to play the Saint of Killers? Because that is by far the best character. Like, if you're gonna read the book, you're reading it for the Saint of Killers.
For him. Yeah. He's sort of like, he became the main character after a certain...
Pretty much. What's his name? He has a name, right? Is it Hugo Root? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read the books. He's not listed here. Maybe it's supposed to be a surprise. Oh, Jackie Earle Haley. Is that's Rorschach. Rorschach's in it, and I'm pretty sure just because he looks like the comic book character, I bet Jackie Earle Haley is gonna be the guy having sex with the meat woman. I bet you they just look too similar. Or he could be one of... No, wait, he's a Quincannon. Yeah, that's the right name.
I wonder who plays a vampire.
That is Cassidy. Joseph Gilgun. Don't know. Oh, he looks crazy. In his IMDb picture, he looks bananas. Oh, he's one of the prisoners from... friggin... The thing. The, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ruth
but no,
Negga's Tulip O'Hare.
Anyway.
Oh, isn't Tulip O'Hare like a Texan white person?
Tulip O'Hare, isn't that his girlfriend who's super white?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's black now.
Yeah.
Outrageous! This is...
I didn't hear anybody making noise about this.
No, actually, that reminds me. I was talking to somebody. You know how, I think it was last week, we were complaining, well, not complaining, I guess complaining, about
we always complain,
about the Ghostbusters trailer being racist?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, the black role that we saw was originally written for McCarthy, Melissa McCarthy.
Oh.
But the other actress did a better job at it, so they gave it to her.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, if she plays that character a lot, like, it's kind of unfortunate from a certain perspective, but I mean,
no, I just find it funny that
it would be racist if they didn't give it to her because she did a better job, but she was black.
I just find it funny that that they obviously wanted to send a message off when they casted 4 females, right?
Probably, yeah.
But then with this racism thing, I don't know.
They really, I
I
guess,
don't want to talk about Ghostbusters
Kevin Smith was saying that they didn't audience test their trailer beforehand. So they really should have showed it to some audiences and then edited it afterwards. Probably would have been smart.
Right. So yes, what other things did you do?
Okay, so we played Acceptance. That was the first one. And then I played a game called Moira, which is a Kirby-esque game where you play a wizard, and your only spell is you shoot a little spell. If it hits an opponent, you copy their spell. So like if you hit a knight, you get the sword spell. If you hit like a guy who throws things, you get the throw thing spell. Whatever. Yeah.
I like the look. So retro.
The part that makes it cool is that you store these spells forever, so you can whip them out whenever you want. And you can combine them. Ooh. So like a sword spell plus a throw thing spell obviously makes a throwing sword spell. So that's pretty cool. The demo's...
Oh, so it has a Kickstarter.
Yes.
Nice.
The demo's very rough. I did not back it on the Kickstarter. I don't know that I will. It has promise. I really like the retro art. But I don't know.
What didn't you like about it?
There's just a couple weird things. Like the level design seemed a little boring, and
very run of the mill.
I don't know. It's one of those cases where it's almost too retro. Like, you know, like you get like in Mega Man. Like one of the things I hate about Mega Man, and this is core to Mega Man, is when you get hit and you get knocked back and you're invincible for a few seconds and you can't do anything. Like that's just, I really don't like that at all. And this game kind of has this very similar thing. It's very, you know, it's true to its roots, but not everything is good. And I'm sure some people like that. It's just not for me. Like I hope the Kickstarter succeeds, because the game has some good things. I didn't actually look. If the game's like $5, I'd do that. But I suspect, I mean, $5 is way too little. Like it's not. It's a kind of ripoff for them. They should really be asking for more, which I'm sure they are.
But it seems like they're actually putting in effort into it.
Into the Kickstarter? The game in general?
Into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely...
it's definitely not shovelware.
No, definitely not. It's new, it's unique, it's got creativity and stuff behind it, so good on them. It's not zombie whatever crap.
Yeah, if you want to vote on Greenlight or give money to a Kickstarter, give it to these guys.
It's a good candidate.
Who, like,
play the free demo.
who looks like they actually give a shit.
Yeah. So so Moira was probably the best game I played this week. After that was The Lotus Eater, which was a first-person story game. It's very abstract.
Sounds very horror-ish for some reason.
It looked very horror-ish. The name stems from, there's an old Greek like fable story thing about this island where people ate these lotus leaves and it made them essentially high. It made them like happy and complacent. So they had no ambition beyond eating these lotuses. Not really sure how that's linked to the game at all, but it's just a short little story. I mean, it took me 10 minutes to play through. Graphically, it was cool. If I had made it, it would be a good example. It would be a good little experiment to me. Like, here's how I place assets in the world and have events trigger and that sort of thing. But as like something I would show off, like, this is a great game that I made. It's not that. I don't know,
is Moira the best game you played? Because I remember listening. I wasn't watching. Listening to another one of your videos.
Yeah.
It was almost as if like a Portal game that you teleport.
Yes. So that came out today. That was Replaced.
Oh.
So Replaced is a game I am abstractly looking forward to more than Moira, but the Moira demo was better than the Replaced demo. So the Replaced, I talked about it last week. It's basically a game where instead of having a portal gun, you have a gun where you can swap places with specific items in the world. So like, if the gun's glowing blue, you can swap place with the blue ball, and the gun will switch to red. So now you can only swap places with the red ball. And so you have to be careful where you switch from, because you want to get the ball to hold the button down. So you stun the button and then swap. I mean, it had some pretty cool puzzles. It's very, very rudimentary and basic. No challenge at all. Just kind of showing off the concept and the tech. So Moira went a step further and actually had, it had the stuff showing the concept and the mechanics, and then a little bit of world building and some bosses and, some discovery, a little bit of challenge to it. So, I don't know. And then the week ended with the first episode of The Bottom of the Well, which is a free visual novel, choose your own adventure type thing on Steam. So I'm working my way through that, dying a lot. But this game is one of the best in terms of, basically forcing you to replay the game and actually making it not a pain in the butt to do so. Because you can basically just hit this skip button to skip all the dialogue and go from decision to decision. So it can be a pain when you're far along in the story to remember your series of decisions, but it's not too bad. And it doesn't take very long. So I'm very, very appreciative of that.
Nice.
And that's everything that went up on the channel. There was a game I want to give a shout out to, because at this time, I haven't decided whether or not I want to do content for it. The game's amazing. I would love to do content for it, but when I was playing it prior to recording, it crashed twice, and there's no save function. So I don't know that I want to risk it. The game is called Shrouded Insanity. There's an alpha demo out. It's basically 8-bit Bloodborne. You run around with a sword and a pistol. There's very precise dodging, parrying mechanics. The same sort, it's almost a ripoff of Bloodborne in terms of like intellectual property, because it's set like in a Victorian setting. The basic mechanics are the same. Like you suck up blood, you inject, like the healing mechanics the same. Bullets are precious. You can parry, etc., etc. But it's very cool and well done. I like the way it looks. I like the way it played. Definitely a cool game that I want to see more of. Fortunately, I don't know. I couldn't beat the demo because it would just crash a few times, and I got tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Which is already a component of Bloodborne, essentially Dark Souls games, grinding. And so you have to redo grinding. It's kind of the worst.
There's actually a 2D Dark Souls game. No, it's not the stupid slashy Souls by GameSpot.
A true 2D. You're right, because this game is it's almost isometric, whatever the proper word is. Like, because you can go
because I saw on Kotaku or something.
You're right. That one's true 2D.
Salt and Sanctuary. Salt and Sanctuary is a 2D Dark Souls game.
Yes.
It's like 2D side scrolling.
And it's actually Dark Souls, cool. Not because this is more Bloodborne. That one's more Dark Souls. And it's 2D, yeah, which is very cool. It reminds me, there is a game I played probably close to a year ago that was very Dark Soulsy. I don't remember what it was called at all. Can I sort my videos by views? Yeah, I don't know exactly where it was. Let me go to the dashboard. But it's basically a two-dimensional Dark Souls. It didn't have the same imagery, but it had the same sort of intense.
It's not a full game, is it? It's a demo, right?
It was. It was a game jam game, I think. So it was a very short little game.
I'm pretty sure it's the one sort of like Castlevania plus Dark Souls, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a more accurate way to describe it, probably.
I'm pretty sure I
guess Castlevania's is kind of Dark Soulsy. I mean, well, I guess Dark Souls comes first, obviously, but I'm definitely gonna get Dark Souls 3. Right now I'm on the.
Are you gonna pre-purchase it?
No, unless there's something in it for me. I haven't looked, but
Are you waiting for a sale?
I would definitely like. I don't think so. I think I want to go in as spoiler-free as possible. I don't want to worry about getting spoiled.
So you're gonna pay $60 for it?
That's what I'm leaning towards right now. I'm not set on it, but right now that's the hazy plan of the future. I also don't think I'm gonna do any content for it. I think I'm just gonna play it on my own.
You just don't want to pre-order it, just in case.
Exactly. It has a lot of issues on PC. If there's a week before something goes up, I'll feel really dumb. I'll pre-order it the day before, so I can preload it.
Because they don't actually have the best track record, I'm pretty sure.
Of what? Sales?
Of making it problem-free.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they already confirmed Dark Souls 3 will run 60 FPS on PC.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they have to say it, but I guess...
yeah.
I guess it's good to confirm, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I just want to go in as spoiler-free as possible. Like that's one of the best... That is one of the things that brings me back to Dark Souls is the reward of just exploring. Because it's hard to do, because you're scared and in danger the entire time. And so it's kind of... It's nice. It just feels really rewarding.
So, Laura K. Buzz, the transgender game critic I mentioned earlier, she's a huge Dark Souls fan. Cool. And she said... I don't know because I never played it, but she said Dark Souls 1 was very atmospheric and very exploration based, while Dark Souls 2 is pretty linear.
That's true.
The levels just don't feel right when it comes to progressing from one level to the next level. She said because she played a few hours of Dark Souls 3 already.
Okay.
And she said it's pretty much going back to Dark Souls 1, more exploration based.
Cool. Dark Souls 1 is hands down better than Dark Souls 2.
Cool.
The only thing about it is because one of the things that makes it so good is how exploration it is. But I definitely know at least one person who didn't play it because of that. Like this definitely hung me. Like so, Dark Souls 1 there's a little bit of like a tutorial-ish area, and then immediately just drops you off on a hub, and you can go to like 4 different areas from there. And I know a friend who didn't play because he went to like 2 or 3 of the wrong ones first and just got his butt kicked, and he said the game's too hard and he stopped playing. And like myself, like it's definitely very, very daunting. But I think that's what made it really bind itself to me so hard. It's just like the feeling of like, yes, I'm doing it. I am overcoming the hard thing. And one thing I cannot value, one thing that I greatly cherish, I don't know how I did it. I played Dark Souls 1 having never heard of Dark Souls. Like, I didn't know I was playing some game that was supposed to be incredibly hard and brutal. I was just like, yeah, this is a cool fantasy game. I had it like from some Humble Bundle or something. I don't know why I had it. But, yeah, it's just, I'm never going to recapture that experience. And it makes me a little sad. But hope.
They were recently, in Podquisition, they were recently talking about how Dark Souls is just way more than being hard.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure you agree. But they're kind of pissed that Namco Bandai is like focusing on, it's tough as nails kind of game.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Basically, the problem with Dark Souls is if you just make it hard, that pretty much just means I'm going to spend more time grinding and it's not going to be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I appreciate having the option to make the game easier by grinding. On the other hand, it's a bit of a cop-out. Like, so, and one good thing about Dark Souls is both games had a couple of bosses where you couldn't just beat them by leveling. You had to, like, change your play style. And I really, really like that.
Oh, I like that.
I really like that.
Witcher 3 had a bit of that. Not a lot, but a bit. I always call Witcher 3 like the super casual Dark Souls.
There is a game that is super casual Dark Souls, though. I can't remember what it's called, though.
Dragon's Dogma?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's it.
I would agree. I think I also pretty much
I haven't played
said
Dragon's
that
Dogma.
before.
That's just the,
I played the PS3
the word.
version. This version is the re-release version, which has all the DLC and a lot of fixes and stuff. It's really good.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the PS3 version was already good. I'm pretty sure this one is gonna be way better. It's just that the visuals are a bit outdated because it's a 4-year-old game, and it was for the PS3. So I'm not sure if I'm okay to be pissed about. Probably disappointed. But Golden Joystick recently had a free giveaway for the first Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition.
Mm-hmm.
I signed up for it, and they said, sorry, due to limited stock, you won't be getting one. You piece of shit.
Wait. What? How did it work? You just signed up and they gave it to you? Like the first 500 people? Or how was it supposed to work?
They didn't say any limit or anything.
Oh, wait, weird.
Yeah. They say, oh, sorry, but good news, we're going to give you a free 3-month subscription to PC Gamer. Like,
yay. Toilet paper. Fire starter? I don't know.
The digital edition of PC Gamer. Right.
That's great.
I'm disappointed. I really wanted to try it.
I actually don't know. When does Dark Souls 3 come out? Let me check right now. Dark Souls 3.
May, right? I believe May or June.
March, April, May. Okay. We got a couple months. That's fine. I'm looking forward to playing it. I am not looking forward to suddenly having like an all-consuming thing in my life where it's like, I gotta play Dark Souls. 3 weeks, 2 days, 20 hours. Oh, ooh, there's a pre-purchase bonus. I didn't even know Steam could have pre-purchase bonuses this small. 8%.
Oh, yeah.
Or
very weird number.
If you order the deluxe edition, which includes the season pass, 5%. That's super dumb.
You have 8% is because you own one of the Dark Souls game or something.
Oh, is that how it works?
I don't get 8% because I'm a pleb.
Oh, there are pre-order bonuses. Let me see now. Digital game soundtrack discount for owners of any Dark Souls game. Those aren't really pre-order bonuses, are they? You kind of mislabeled those.
Unless the discount goes away.
Yeah.
After it launched, then it's considered a pre-order bonus.
Yes, I agree.
If the digital soundtrack doesn't come out at all forever.
I'd forgotten to consider the season pass. The season passes are always worth it.
Ah.
Well, when I say always, I mean Dark Souls 1 and 2.
Oh, they're making a Bloodborne card game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if Bloodborne will ever come out for PC.
My friend
Like,
is a huge Dark
officially.
Souls player. He just pre-ordered the freaking game. He doesn't care. I think pre-orders make sense certain times.
Sure.
You don't have. I don't think it's I don't agree with certain people that pre-orders are like stupid all the time. Like Total Biscuit also says that. I don't agree. Like if it's a limited edition.
Yeah.
A limited edition with limited copies, like I think you should pre-order it if you really want that.
Yeah. I wonder if for I haven't also figured out how I want to play Dark Souls 3, because both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, I went in very traditional sword and board. You know, shield up, walking forward slowly, whatever weapon in my offhand, being super careful. In Dark Souls 2, well, in Dark Souls 1, as I got more confident, I swapped. And in Dark Souls 2, because I was more confident, I swapped a lot into two-handing weapons a lot more. I wonder if for Dark Souls 3, I should just right off the bat...
Does that mean you have to pretty much...
dodge everything?
Manage your stamina bar all the time?
I mean, I don't know if you manage it more or less. Because like when you have a shield up, getting hit reduces your stamina bar. And as long as your shield's up, your stamina comes back basically not at all. It's super, super slow.
Right.
So it's kind of the same. Dark Souls, or not having a shield basically just means you have to be really quick to react on the dodge and make sure you don't dodge off of platforms. But it's usually really good. End game, I almost always switch over to two-handing a weapon, because at that point I'm so high level, I have enough HP and endurance, I can just dodge for days, and if I get hit, it doesn't really matter, and then you just truck things. Like, that was one bad thing about the Dark Souls 2 DLC. The Dark Souls 2's DLC was really, really good, but the third one had an optional boss, which I hate I think is like one of my least fun experiences of any Dark Souls boss, just because getting to the boss was the least fun. And so I ended up just grinding, getting my strength up to the point where I could kill the boss in 3 hits and just beating him up. Because it's like a 2-stage boss. So it's like, skip the second stage, I'm just going to kill you now. I don't know. I'm liking
so
the
what else did you do?
I think that's pretty much anything I did relevant. Played Warframe, of course. That's going to be interesting. When Dark Souls comes out, what will I do with Warframe?
You'll probably still play it.
I basically won't until I beat Dark Souls, and then go back to Warframe.
Oh. We'll see about that.
I mean, I'll probably log into Warframe just to do my a couple of daily things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's reached the point where you log in for a while just to see like what alerts or what events.
I need like a phone app that I can just monitor alerts. Like, is there an Orokin
They
thing
have that.
up? Oh, okay.
They have that.
For the phone.
It's an
or for
actual. For the phone, it's an actual app from the developers.
Oh, cool.
And you can actually see like when your
blueprints
are crafted.
Sounds like an API. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
One thing that's interesting.
It's actually pretty cool.
These Dark Souls screenshots are showing a lot of spellcasters. Friggin' spellcasting's no fun.
Seriously? You mean in Dark Souls, right? Not overall.
Yeah, in Dark Souls.
Because I always play magic casters.
Outside of Dark Souls, my favorite kind of caster type guy is like a spellblade. Someone who's like, most of his spells are like self buffs. Maybe a heal. Maybe he has one little like fireball or something. But most of his things just just change himself. I really like that hybrid a lot.
Actually, like, how do magic casters work in Dark Souls 3? Because
I don't know about 3.
in Dark Souls, because I always in Dark Souls in general, because I always see, like, when people think Dark Souls, they think like sword and shield and dodging. Like, how do magic casters fit in?
I didn't really touch it at all in 2, but I think it functioned somewhat similarly to 1. It just was a lot weaker in 2 is what I hear, so it wasn't worth doing. Basically, there's kind of 2.5 schools of magic. There's pyromancy, which is what you expect, like fireballs of various sizes, fire whips, that kind of thing. Usually it's pretty easy to like multi-class into pyromancy. Like, you can usually do your sword and board and have pyromancy on the side if you want to, just for fun. But but your other two generally require you to put in a lot of points into like intelligence and whatever the other one is called. I don't remember, because there's like intelligence magic and it's like, I'm gonna call it chaos magic. I don't remember the name, but that basically, you have charges, and the charges refill whenever you get back to a bonfire. But so you have like 5 instances of like a homing missile, 2 instances of like an AoE cone, and then 1 instance of like a really big thing. I don't know. And how many spells you can have and how many charges they have are influenced by your stats. So I haven't really messed around with it, but I don't know. It didn't seem as fun, because part of the fun of Dark Souls is the twitching, dodging, reaction stuff. And if I'm just sitting back hurling spells, sure, it's easy, but it's not as fun. And also, it's not necessarily easier for certain boss fights. I wouldn't mind having some better bow mechanics. Maybe I'm a hypocrite for saying that, but I think it'd be cool to have like a short bow at like mid-range. So you still have to like dodge back, get distance, fire an arrow really quick, keep dodging.
Nice.
But yeah, normally I only use range attacks to cheese my way through certain enemies.
Ooh, interesting.
What?
So there's this game called I Am Setsuna. It's by Square Enix and developed by Tokyo RPG Factory. So it just got released in Japan, and it's slated to release in Q2 of 2016 in EU and NA. So it's for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and PC. It's a JRPG with Chrono Trigger battle system.
Oh, like that real time, that's cool.
Yeah,
because the two things that make Chrono Trigger battle awesome is it has the initiative bar, which is not unique to Chrono Trigger, but it also has like the way AoEs work is in real time. So like, let's say an enemy charges at me and I use my move, he could have moved out of the AoE. Yeah,
so this one is actually like, when you go into battle, it's like a top down, and then there's like a actual battlefield that you can move around and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it looks nice. It looks really, it just looks
nice. It's out or it's coming out?
It's out in Japan.
Got it.
Japan.
Oh, that reminds me. Another game I did play this week, because I'm trying to work on some content for next week, and I'm pretty sure I have a good idea what I want to do now. I played some more Hover: Revolt of Gamers, which is the...
I saw that.
It's the Jet Set Radio spin-off. Like, they had the same composer. I don't think...
It's early access, right?
Yeah, it's like a Kickstarter access right now. I think you can buy it on Steam Early Access, so I assume you can get into it that way. It has an online component, so I messed around with that for the first time. And somebody actually recognized me because from my content, and he ended up showing me a bunch of stuff I didn't know in the game, which was kind of cool. But he told me not to talk about it, so I can't actually do content on it, which is sad. But I learned some mechanics which were not clearly taught to me, so that was cool.
So yeah,
might stream
anything else you did this week?
No.
Anything you watch interesting?
What did I watch? I watched a couple more episodes of Cuckoo. I watched a movie where Steve Coogan and Dame Judi Dench tried to find Dame Judi Dench's son. She plays like a girl who gets pregnant, like a teen mom back in the day, and she gets taken in by Irish Catholic nuns, and it's a sin to have, a baby out of wedlock, and so they take her baby from her and they sell it to an American family who adopts him. So he has a fine life, but basically the premise is now Dame Judi Dench is old, her son should be turning 50, she's never spoken to him since he got taken away from her. So she gets Steve Coogan, who's a reporter, to help her track down her son.
The poster looks like a comedy.
Yeah, I thought it was a comedy, but it's not. Because I didn't read the description at all. I was like, actors, I like those actors. I'll see this movie. It looks like it'll be a fun British comedy. No, it's a good movie, but not funny. Just sad.
It really looks like a comedy. The poster really makes it look like a comedy.
No part of it is funny. I mean, there's some lighthearted banter, I suppose, but like, it's sad.
Oh, it was nominated in Academy Awards for Best Picture. Shit.
It's good. I mean, it's good. Based off of it's a true story.
Best Actress.
It's based off a book.
Yeah. it's interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I've seen.
Probably want to watch this. I like Judi Dench.
Yeah, I should have watched the Simon
doesn't like
Pegg
Judi
one
Dench?
instead. There's a Simon Pegg movie out where he plays a man who goes to meet a woman on a blind date, but he starts talking to the wrong woman, but she capitalizes on her fortune and goes on a date with him anyway. And that one is supposed to be a comedy. Because it's Simon Pegg.
Ice Age? Is it Ice Age?
Isn't that the animated movie?
Yeah, it's like the mammoth and like...
Simon Pegg is not in that movie. What are you talking about?
He's in the new one.
What?
2016. Yeah.
There's a new one? How many are there?
3, I think.
I think I've seen 2.
Yeah, this is probably the third one.
Ice Age.
It's
Collision
really
Course. He is Buck.
Oh, what's the name of the Simon Pegg movie? I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Absolutely Anything?
Yes. No. Not Absolutely Anything. Sorry, I clicked on that one. It is... Man Up.
Absolutely Anything is a sign. Man Up.
Man Up.
Ah, I see it.
Yes.
He's gonna be in episode 8, Star Wars.
He's returning in Star Wars, yeah. It's the same character, probably. That's hilarious. Yep, same character. So Cameo becomes full-blown character because Simon Pegg, I guess.
Yeah, because he's Simon Pegg.
Yeah, sure, give it to him. I'm listening to an audiobook right now called I think it's called The Ethermancer. The trouble with audiobooks is because I don't see the cover of the book over and over again. I forget the name of the book. Let me see. Is that?
And you forgot what you're listening to?
I mean, I let me look. No, it's not that. Is it? Dang it! I don't remember. But it's about basically it's the setting is very similar to like Adventure Time, where it's the post-apocalyptic future, but it's such like a screwed up future that there's fantasy stuff running around. Like there's dwarves and manticores from like all the radiation and like genetic experiments and stuff. And so the main character has the ability to mentally talk to and to an extent control machinery. So there's like defunct machinery going around and he can touch it. The trouble is it has, I didn't realize this when I first got into it. The main character's like, I don't know, 14 or 15. So he's really whiny. Like, he's really whiny. And I'm not, it's the first book in a series, and I'm not going to continue the series. Like, it sucks, because, like, if you give up on things like Avatar, if I'd given up on season 1, that would have sucked.
Oh, yeah.
But certain things I just don't really have much hope for. I don't know.
Like, you see the potential in Avatar.
Yes, totally. Avatar had a really good supporting cast. This supporting cast in this book is okay. They're not comparable to Avatar's. No, it's creative, I guess, which is nice. I think I would have liked this book a lot more if it were 10 years ago, because 1, I would have identified with the protagonist a lot more, and 2, a lot of the concepts would have been more unique, because now I've seen a lot of this stuff before.
Right.
Venture Bros is going great.
I guess my week.
Yeah, your week.
We're pretty much nearing the end. This week is going to be a really short episode. So I played Warframe because Warframe. I played more Warhammer 40k Space Marine.
Oh, nice.
I still like it. It's a bit linear. It doesn't have progression. It doesn't have like character progression at levels or like.
Oh, so it's gotten kind of samey maybe.
Yeah, it's just straight up action. There's no. Yeah, it's just straight up action. But this is like my second Warhammer 40k game. I played Dawn of War last time, really long time ago, and I think back then when I was pretty young and I didn't really like bother with the story. And this 40k kind of showed that the Warhammer 40k universe is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
What are these chaos fellas? Why do they look like space marines but also look like demons at the same freaking time?
Well, because they used to be space marines, I believe.
The
idea is
and
that
then they worship another god.
By chaos, yeah, and the god grants them gifts in the form of physical deformities, which
Are there actual gods in the game?
Yeah.
I mean, in the universe?
I mean, there are powerful entities, let's put it that way.
It's really interesting.
Magic's a real thing.
I really like that orcs have a British accent. I just don't, I don't know why. I just like it that they have a British accent. I played Azura Striker Gunvolt.
Oh, I saw you doing that.
Which used to be a 3DS exclusive, and they released it on the PC recently. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer Mega Man game, basically. It's but it's a little bit different. You have a gun that you can shoot, obviously, because that's what guns do. You can damage with a gun, but the main point of the gun is to tag enemies. So you can tag an enemy up to 3 times, and then you can turn on a electricity force field kind of thing to damage them much faster than if you would just using the gun. So there's like a tagging system in the game. So it's really cool. I really like it. I played the demo on the 3DS. I knew I liked it straight away, but I bought it on Steam. I didn't like that they had full HD resolution, 1920 by 1080p, but the game wasn't. They just made the screen big. The game wasn't like, the game resolution wasn't increased.
Oh dang!
At all.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah, like the texts are increased, like the texts are very clear, but the characters are very blocky and shit. So it looks really crap on a big screen. But the game is good, so yeah. Shit, that's it. That's all I played.
Well, I looked it up. The book I'm listening to is called Ether Walker. Just throwing it out there.
Right.
Avoid it. Not really. Listen to it if you want to.
Okay, so I also watched the first episode of One Punch Man.
Huzzah! That theme song's so
I
good.
like it a lot. I really like it.
It's because it's it's interesting that it's so popular. I guess, I mean, most things where the main character is so straight, so dry, I feel like most things like that don't get super popular. I think it's because it's also combined with the extreme over-the-topness. I don't know. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you've begun your journey. I realized that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that I was watching was not the right first series, so I started watching that this week.
Oh. You mean like season 2? You were watching season 2?
I was watching... I don't know. They have different series names. I'm not sure what order they go in. That's the problem. They didn't have numbers after
That's the annoying thing. Yeah.
Let's see. I was watching... I don't know. I think I'm supposed to be watching... Crap, which is it? I think I was watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, and I was watching something... Yeah, that's what I was watching. And I think I was supposed to start watching with Phantom Blood? I don't remember. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I'll look it up before I resume watching. But yeah, the point is I watched the wrong one. But only a few episodes, so it wasn't ruinous.
So yeah, do you want to go ahead on like news?
Yeah.
Wrap it up. All right. So have you played any Oddworld games?
I own them all. I got them in a bundle.
You own all? Oh, right. Yeah,
I got them. I have Abe's Exodus, Abe's Odyssey, Munch's Odyssey, and Stranger's Wrath. The only one I've spent a significant amount of time playing was Stranger's Wrath. I tried Abe's Odyssey, but it's almost like Moira, where it's just kind of old. Where I find the 2D platforming mechanics to just be.
It didn't age well.
They didn't. Yeah, not to my spoiled tastes now. But Stranger's Wrath isn't 2D; it's a 3D action game, which it's cool. I only played it for about an hour.
Yeah, because they just announced a new one, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Interesting. I didn't know they were still in business. They used to actually be based, like just down the street from my first professional job.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they went to the same college I went to.
So Microsoft recently hosted a Woman in Gaming luncheon.
Oh god, this story's the worst.
Oh yeah, at GDC in San Francisco.
I wanted to go to that. I should have gone.
How much was the tickets?
I didn't even look. Too much, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm 500 maybe.
Probably. My wife's been complaining because she says like when like if it's just crowded with nerds in the cities, like all the bars are overrun with drunk nerds.
So yeah, they hosted a woman in gaming luncheon, blah blah blah, misogyny, patriarchy, whatever. And then they had a freaking party with schoolgirl dancers in really scantily clad
women dressed as
uniforms.
schoolgirls, right? Yeah, not
yeah, women in not actual freaking schoolgirls. Women dressed in scantily clad schoolgirl uniforms. And they apologized. They said, "Oh, we're sorry. We regretted it." Like,
did you?
I don't understand why
How'd
did
that
you do it
happen
in the first place.
Exactly.
I'm like, I feel this saying sorry and we regret is just a cop out.
It's very hard, nigh impossible, to make it sound genuine.
Yeah. So yeah, Phil Spencer released a statement. I'm not gonna read it because it's just PR talk.
Sure.
It's unfortunate. He probably used the words unfortunate. It's not our culture. Those kind of shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was just a funny story.
Did you read the story about Jimquisition getting sued?
Yes, that's the next one actually.
Excellent. Segue. Mind meld.
So yeah, do you know about the story at all? I follow Jim Sterling a lot.
I read
so
one
I sort
article
of know.
about it.
All right. So I follow Jim Sterling. So I watch all his videos and his podcasts and stuff. So I know who these people are.
Yes.
So it's a game studio. I'm not even sure if I want to call it a game studio.
It seems like a long-running feud kind of coming to a head.
Oh yeah, since 2014. So it's a game studio called Digital Homicide. I don't really want to call it a game studio because they release shovelware.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, they release games that uses like Unity store-bought assets and put it up
with
on sale.
Mechanics.
Pretty much, really bad mechanics, broken sometimes. Most of the time, it's just really shitty shit, and it's asking for money on Steam. I'm not even sure like how they pass Steam green light. So Jim Sterling, he's a game critic, and he likes to play or watch like really shitty games on Steam. It's like a thing he does on his channel. So the first game that he did on Digital Homicide was so bad, he kept following them because they kept releasing so many games.
It's a gold mine of trash.
Yeah, pretty much. And
like
people
David
love
Cage.
to watch his because he's funny and he makes fun of it.
Sure.
Like, so it's good entertainment for his fans.
Yeah.
So and they actually also, I'm not sure if in 2015 they actually had a Skype call with Jim. Digital Homicide.
Yes.
Had a Skype call with Jim.
I heard about this. Did you listen to it?
Oh yeah, it was cringe-worthy.
That's exactly the word I expect.
It was cringy. Like, it's either they don't realize that they churn out shit or they're very good actors. It's either one.
I think they're in like super denial. They have to be. Otherwise, how do you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror?
So Jim can be pretty
blunt,
unforgiving in his criticism.
Sure.
He doesn't do it maliciously, I guess.
He doesn't mince
not like
words.
Yes.
He says what he means.
Yeah, he says what he
Doesn't
means.
Soften it.
So a lot of his fans very wrongly went and like
they mailed poop.
Yeah, they harassed Digital Homicide, basically. Jim did not ask them to do this.
Of course.
By the way. Yeah. So Digital Homicide is suing Jim Sterling for $10 million.
A lot of dollars.
There's a lot of doody-doos. The company is asking for $2.26 million in direct product damage because obviously if Jim didn't make those videos, it would have sold more, I guess. $4.3 million in emotional, reputational, and financial distress, and $5 million in punitive damage requests. So that's about 10.76. Digital Homicide is representing themselves. They don't have an attorney, but
they're
they actually said, Yeah, they actually said we're actually talking to this super hot attorney, and we
Super
are gonna
hot.
crowdfund. We're gonna crowdfund to get the money to get this attorney, and they brought it down because harassers donated amounts specifically
Yes.
to cause charges rather than
You
donation
donate
and
a very small
chargebacks.
amount, and then when you cancel it, the processing fee actually makes the person you donate to lose money.
So the losses seem, according to co-founder Robert Roman or whatever, lawsuit has been works for roughly 4 months, and that Sterling crossed the line with continued coverage and harassment of every single title we have ever posted.
They crossed the
Basic-
line by keeping publishing crap.
They basically said they basically said he crossed the line for criticizing their products.
Yeah. I
Which
don't
is not a
understand
thing.
what leg they think they have to stand on. Defamation, I
And-
guess, but
And they also said Jim is responsible for his fans harassing them.
sure, that's how that works.
Yeah, that's totally how that works. Also, Digital Homicide did like DMCA takedowns and shit on Jim Sterling's videos.
Right.
Obviously, they are not in the right because it's like fair use and shit. So, Digital Homicide is like the worst of the worst.
Seems like
Pretty
it.
much. They're pretty.
Digital suicide is what they're doing.
And they've also created other company names to publish games because they don't want to have the baggage. Some of the company names are actual companies that have already existed, and people were like, why are you guys doing this? And they were like, we're not doing this. We're not creating shitty games on Steam. We're just a mobile developer in some freaking European country or something.
Right. They changed their name. So weird.
Yeah. So yeah,
This is
crazy people.
I'm gonna bounce off this. Something that got my goat this week is, so on this podcast, I and Nathan have complained about this before. Games like Kentucky Route Zero and Ira, which is still in the works, it's going to come out, have very stilted, very jarring, very immersion-breaking storytelling systems where you, the character, are asked a question that you, the character, should know, but you, the player, do not know the answer to, so you don't know if the answer you're selecting is the truth, a lie, or whatever. What this usually means is that the answer you select has no meaning whatsoever, and it is completely irrelevant, because the story is going to continue on the same way, no matter which one you pick. And that's why it's bad. So, to bring this to the current relevant time, the last Humble Bundle I bought is a recent one. I actually bought a Humble Bundle somewhat recently. It had a game I've actually been wanting for a while called Else Heart Break. And I started playing that, and it has that problem like times 2. Because not only does it have terrible options like that, it's just not even like, it's not even written well. Like, I don't know the character's motivations. I don't know where I'm supposed to go when people stop talking. The dialogue boxes are on timers, so it's I can't even read all of them sometimes. Like, I was looking forward to it because it has programming based puzzles and the graphics are cool. But
yeah, looks really nice.
I recorded like 10 minutes of gameplay, 20 minutes of gameplay, and I think I'm gonna throw it away because it was bad. It was really bad.
Did you try playing it more than the 20 minutes? Maybe it gets better?
I mean, I probably will try, but I'm not optimistic at all about becoming invested in the story.
Somebody actually put up a negative review of it. Game had a narrative it wanted to tell me. Problem is, narrative didn't fit what was happening or what player was capable.
Sounds about right. I think once I get to the point where I can start solving puzzles, the game will get better, but I still think I'm just going to be not like the far side of disinterested. I'm going to actively like want my character to like fail. Like I'm going to succeed, but it's like I don't care what the problem in this game is. It
has very positive reviews, like 8 out of 10.
That's probably because that's like a love story. I'm assuming with a name like Else Heart Break, it's got some love story bull crap.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty expensive. Where did you buy it in a bundle?
It's a Humble Bundle. Let me pull it up.
Because it's like $25 normal price.
It was Humble Indie Bundle 16.
Oh.
Also had Sunless Sea in it, which I quite wanted, and Trine 3. I heard Trine 2 is not super great, but I really, really liked Trine 1. All the other games I owned, pretty much. Except for Outlast. I don't care about Outlast. It's a scary game. I don't do scary games.
I don't do scary games.
So yeah, maybe...
Yes, I'm a pussy. Call me a pussy. I don't fucking care. I hate those games.
So I think what'll maybe happen is I will definitely throw out the else heart.break footage, and I will probably start re-recording it, but now I'll know what I'm in for. And so you won't get to see my soul get crushed on camera, and I won't try to voice act it, because there's not enough time to read the lines out loud. I may just mock it the whole time. I may not even read the story, but that's not giving it a fair chance. So I want to try and read the story. We'll see. We'll see what I try to do. I do want to get to I definitely want to play it long enough to get to the point where I actually get to hack something, solve the puzzle.
So I recently bought the Humble Jumbo Bundle 6.
What was in it?
So I wanted it because it has Dreamfall chapters. You had to beat the average. It had Magicka 2.
Oh.
It had Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut.
Nice.
And it also had Oceanhorn Monster of Uncharted Seas. It's basically a Zelda clone for the PC. The Oceanhorn one I tried for a while is kind of meh because I'm pretty sure it's a mobile game as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's on mobile it should be very good, but on PC, no thanks. I have a 3DS. I can play Zelda.
There was this is the game I'm thinking of.
There was also another game called Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop. So it's like a management game where you manage a weapon shop in like an RPG simulation. It's really...
That's kind of cool.
I'm probably gonna enjoy that. There's also another game called Trans-Ocean Pacific Company or something like that. It's like you run like shipping companies, simulation style. I thought it was gonna be quite good, but it has mixed reviews, so...
Is it like a business simulator?
You can like actually see the actual ships and shit, but it's like it's a simulator. You simulate the company, business.
Cool.
I guess. Yeah. Mixed reviews though. Yeah. So yeah, that's James Sterling versus Digital Homicide. He referenced it in the last pod conversation. He said, "Don't worry."
Yeah.
Don't worry.
He seems very confident, and I think he should be probably.
Yeah, and YouTube. Isn't this part of the recent YouTube coverage where they say they will help like YouTubers fight off crappy? Isn't it?
It's a different thing.
Oh, it's a different.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Sure
so YouTube did explicitly name Jim Sterling as one of the YouTubers they are trying to, support better from false copyright takedown type things. But this is like a side issue that I don't think falls under that. I mean, they might reach out, but I don't think it does.
But I remember YouTube saying something like we will support with $1 million in like lawsuits or something like court stuff. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, I don't know what
constitutes that though.
Yeah, I don't know what the tags. Hadn't heard that.
So yeah. So next one is interesting, I guess. Rumors is Sony is working on a PlayStation 4.5.
Oh yeah, it's a software thing, right? Or is it hardware as well?
No, it's an actual like console? Hardware.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a more powerful console. It's supposed to be PlayStation 4 more powerful. You can play 4K games, maybe at 60 frames per second. I don't know, but if it's true, I think it's interesting. I think it's pretty interesting if me as a consumer, I would have a choice of buying a cheap version that runs maybe 900p and 30 frames per second and a super expensive version that runs 4K at 60 frames per second.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
Just as long as there are no exclusive games for the expensive one, I'm cool with that.
Yes.
Which is kind of dumb. The new 3DS has that. I really hate that.
I didn't know that.
It's understandable because the 3DS is a very weak machine. Still kind of shitty though.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Huh. PlayStation VR was mentioned. It's gonna be like $460 or something.
That's not
$400
as bad as it could be.
Yeah, the Oculus
That's too
was
much for me, baby. Yeah, Oculus is $599.
The headset is $400. But you need the PlayStation camera. That one comes at $60, so it's $460.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But one thing about Sony, they tend to like give up on their products. Look at the Vita, look at the PSP, look at the PSP Go, look at the PlayStation Eye, look at the PlayStation camera, look at the motion controls. They just don't care. They spend all this R&D money and they just like, fuck it. We did it. People bought it. Fuck it. Which is kind of dumb. But hopefully, since VR is pretty hot right now, hopefully they will support it.
I mean, it's eventually it'll become the case where everyone has VR. It's just like a thing that everyone has. This is a step towards that.
Hopefully.
Not all the way there, of course.
It's definitely the cheapest VR option. If you don't count the Samsung Gear VR, which is $100. So PlayStation 1 is at $400, the Oculus is $599, and the HTC Vive for Steam and Valve is like $800.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I remember that.
That's a freaking computer right there.
It's insane. Did you see the new Xbox controllers?
What's it called? Elite?
I don't know if there's anything different about them other than the color, but they're like these really, really cool fades. Like one's like this blue to like a darker blue, and one's like a copper to a darker copper. They just look really sexy. It might be different. I don't know. I don't think it's anything different though, but they might be. I'm so good at news.
Veteran Pokemon artist and designer Eric Madale passed away. He was 42. A tree collapsed onto his car in Seattle. Holy shit. Is it because it rains a lot over there or something?
It can get fairly stormy. I don't know. That's still not... I don't think trees falling lethally is that much more common in Seattle than anywhere else on most other places on the East Coast. Depends on where... Yeah, in Seattle... It depends on where he was in Seattle, I guess.
His friends started a fundraiser to send his daughters to college. So yeah, I'll put a link. I'll put the link if you guys wanna donate to that. Oh shit! Goal was 50K. They already have 78.8K.
Nice, good job.
It's really fast.
Pokemon
it was
fans.
like only 5 days ago or something.
Wow,
it's really fast. So yeah, the last one I think is probably most interesting to you. Crytek's new engine is free.
Ooh, that is very cool. I had not heard that. Crytek. I'll have to look up the link for that.
It's actually Humble Bundle is selling stuff on the CryEngine, like assets and shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. I wish it was a Humble Bundle for like green screen assets and stuff. That'd be cool. Or just visual effects.
It's pretty cool. You probably want to give it a shot. You've been messing around with Unity, right?
A little bit, yeah. Not as much as I'd like. I spend... I don't know. To spend time learning to make video games, you have to cut back and actually play in them. That's a little tricky. It's not as straightforward as one would like.
I think you need to go.
Yes, I do.
So, before you go, what are you looking forward to? Anything? Anything at all? Or is it going to be a fucking boring ass week?
No. I feel like there totally was.
You forgot?
Maybe everything already happened today. Maybe the only things I was looking forward to were the shows that all came out today.
I'm so totally going to try and watch Preacher TV. The first episode, I'm not sure how.
It's on HBO?
AMC.
AMC, you did that, okay. Yeah, I don't have TV, so I will have to watch it somehow. Maybe I'll watch through a neighbor's window or something. Video game wise, though, things I'm looking forward to. I don't think there's any specific games. I was actually just complaining about this with somebody. Like, in terms of games coming out, the only two that I even like are like on my radar are No Man's Sky and Dark Souls 3. And I'm not even really looking forward to No Man's Sky.
I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky and Homefront.
Because
open world first-person shooter game. Hopefully it's cool.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not some Far Cry clone.
Right.
Like towers and shit to climb. So
Deadbolt came out this week. Shout out to Deadbolt. Good.
Oh yeah, Deadbolt. Yeah.
Good 2D Hotline
made by the guys
thing.
from Risk of Rain.
I love Risk of Rain. I got a Risk of Rain
cool
t-shirt.
Game. Deadbolt is a stealth game, sort of like Gunpoint, right?
It's very much. It's like Gunpoint, which is like Hotline Miami, but instead of being top down, it's a side scroller, and so it's very much just like, here is a building full of bad guys. Figure out the best order of operations. You have to kill them. Like, should I go in through the door, shoot this guy, hide behind the chair, throw a grenade, or should I climb the outside railing, go into the second window, kind of thing. The premise is you're kind of like a bounty hunter in the underworld, so you're going after like zombie ghost type guys, trying to like bring them back. So you have some powers, like you can like teleport through drains, that kind of thing. So like if someone's on the toilet, you can just come up underneath and just instantly kill them. It's pretty cool. I don't know if the demo is still available or not, but it's only $10 on Steam, which is super reasonable. So maybe I'll pick that up and play it. I'm looking forward to playing Hover. Black Sea Odyssey has been having a lot of frequent patches, so I should probably do some content for that. The problem is I have a hard time doing content for action-y games as opposed to story-based games, because I can't really talk and do action at the same time, and if I do, it's also very repetitive. Like, go,
I'm not sure what is there to talk about as well.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I'll do...
It's like you're doing the same thing, like, unless you're making one-liners or something.
So what I might do... Maybe I can. There's basically two options that aren't Let's Plays. I can either stream it, and that works pretty well, or I can record myself playing it and then record commentary in post. Edit it into like a tight reel of something happening and talk about it in post. So I may do either of those things, but nothing new that I'm looking forward to that I can recall. Yeah.
So one last thing. The Witcher 3 is one of the most successful video games of all time. It has sold about 10 million copies, and it has won the most game awards of all time.
Nice.
So fuck you, Nathan. I'm kidding.
Hopefully it's
a
sale.
really freaking good game.
I hope it's on sale like next Steam winter sale. I'll pick it up or something. But
it was at 50% a lot of times, and they actually reduced the price from $60 to $50 now after the first few months.
Oh, nice. How long did you play it for?
90 hours.
Yeah.
I only played like the main game. I still haven't gotten any of the expansion stuff yet, which I'm totally gonna get.
How long did I play Dark Souls 2 for? Oh, that reminds me. So I played Dark Souls 2 for 120 hours. That's a good chunk of time.
That's a lot.
I
highly recommend Witcher 3.
Maybe I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So a player today, I think it was today, maybe yesterday, hit max level in Tom Clancy's The Division. It took him 120 hours,
130.
130?
130, yeah.
I think that's a pretty good amount of time for... That's basically an MMO. I think that's
that guy played a lot of it since it just came out like a few days ago.
Like a week, yeah.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Maybe 2, I don't know. Did demo stuff roll over? I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. But Foehamner, you are a YouTube rock star, I think.
I sink like a rock.
So where can people find your rockstar caliber content on the internet?
Yeah, YouTube, Foehamner. I'm trying to branch out, so if anybody has suggestions on games I should play, feel free to tweet them at me. I'm on Twitter at Foehamner. I also have a Steam group or a Facebook page. Just message me somehow. I'm not gonna. Just because you message me a game doesn't mean I'll play it. I'll probably play it, but I might not do content for it. It has to be, I don't know. Certain games, I like all sorts of games, but only a subset of games I like do I think I can do worthy content for. But I'm kind of, this week I was struggling to find content. I don't know. Finding games I want to do content for.
Also, there's an article on The Witcher 3 where CD Projekt Red talk about what they did for their marketing and branding strategy.
Oh, okay.
They said the worst thing to do is silence.
Totally.
So I'm pretty sure I remember talking about this, where I remember saying there's this developer who is just developing the game, and I asked like, why didn't you do any like marketing or anything? Then they said, we want to finish the game first. And I'm like, that's kind of a bad strategy, actually.
Yeah.
You gotta get people excited for your game before it's done. Look at all the AAA guys; they're doing that all the freaking time.
I mean, on the other side, I definitely play demos that I think have been pushed out too early. Like, I definitely feel like it's a large number of demos and stuff where people should have taken an extra month or so to polish it up a little better. But for AAA games and stuff.
Oh yeah, like
you can always talk about it.
Don't half-ass your demo.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass your demo.
The demos, it's important.
Get people talking about it. Make a good demo, and then your game will sell well, I guess. Make a good game.
Wasn't there a game development studio? I mean, so there were two studios that were basically made up of ex-BioShock devs. I think the story I'm about to tell was one of those teams. I could be wrong. But basically, they had an idea for a game, and they weren't telling you what it was. It's just like, trust us. Just trust us. This is going to be so cool, you guys. It's like a Kickstarter. Like, come on, guys. You know us. This is going to be such a cool game, you guys. And like, they just didn't get any money. Because like, no, you got to tell us what it is, you idiots.
Yep. That's kind of how it works. We need to know what we're putting money into. Yeah. Even though it's a freaking Kickstarter, we just consider a donation.
I don't consider it a donation. You should, I suppose. I like a Kickstarter, I treat like I'm buying a game, kind of.
Oh yeah, like Kickstarter is totally not a donation, but it's technically...
But it is. Technically it is. But I don't perceive it to be that way.
Yeah, which is the gray area. So like people spend money thinking they're buying something, and then when that thing doesn't come, and then like, it's only a donation, like you're not supposed to expect anything in return, blah blah blah. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm. I'm Pupunoob on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I trying to get back into YouTubing. Been super lazy. I don't know why. I'm not gonna blame Warframe. Pretty sure it's not Warframe.
We could do co-commentary of elseheart.break.
I'm game for that.
You guys gotta figure out the scheduling.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been episode 41 of
I'm
the
really looking forward to next week.
Yeah. Super fucking short episode, but still, thank you for watching and listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.